The history of religion in Mexico.
Ancient indigenous religions, before 1519. Before the arrival of Europeans, the land now known as Mexico was home to numerous advanced civilizations, including the Olmecs, Maya, Zapotecs, Toltecs, and Aztecs, Mexica, each with rich religious systems deeply integrated into daily life, politics, and culture. Core features: polytheism, worship of many gods tied to nature, agriculture, war, and astronomy. Notable deities included Quetzalcoatl, feathered serpent, god of wisdom and wind; Huitzilopochtli, god of war and the sun; Tlaloc, rain and fertility god. Rituals and sacrifices. Human and animal sacrifices were central to maintaining cosmic order and appeasing the gods. Priestly class. Religious leaders held enormous political power, interpreting celestial signs and guiding rulers. Integration with politics. Kings and emperors often claimed divine legitimacy. Temples were the centers of both religious and political life. These beliefs formed the spiritual and cultural fabric of pre-Columbian societies, influencing their calendars, architecture, law, and warfare. 2. Spanish conquest and Catholic dominance, 1519-1821. The arrival of Hernán Cortés in 1519 marked a dramatic religious transformation. Spanish conquistadors, backed by the Catholic Church, aimed not only to conquer territory, but also to evangelize and Christianize the indigenous population. Colonial period transformations. Forced conversion. Indigenous religions were suppressed, temples destroyed, and native rituals outlawed. Syncretism. Indigenous beliefs blended with Catholicism, giving rise to unique hybrid practices. Example: the Virgin of Guadalupe merged elements of the Aztec goddess Tonantzin with Marian devotion. Church as colonial power. The Catholic Church became a dominant institution, controlling land, education, hospitals, and social services. It often worked alongside the Spanish crown under the Patronato Real, a system giving the monarchy influence over church affairs. Cultural reorientation. Catholic festivals replaced indigenous rituals, and Spanish saints were localized, forming the basis of Mexican religious identity. 3. Independence, reform, and secularism, 1821-1910. Following independence from Spain, 1821, religion continued to play a powerful role, but tensions grew between conservative, pro-church, and liberal, secular factions. Key developments: conservative era. The church maintained significant power in early post-independence politics and landholding. Liberal reforms, 1850s. Under Benito Juárez, the reform laws, Leyes de Reforma, stripped the church of land, separated church and state, and secularized education and marriage. French intervention, 1860s. Conservatives invited Maximilien Frisch, supported by Napoleon III, to restore monarchical and church influence, but liberals triumphed. IV. Revolution and religious conflict, 1910-1940. The Mexican Revolution, 1910-1920, intensified church-state conflict, leading to some of the most significant religious struggles in Latin America. Cristero War, 1926-1929, triggered by President Plutarco Elias Calles' anti-clerical laws, Calles' Law, which restricted worship and closed religious schools. Catholic peasants, known as Cristeros, rebelled under the slogan, "Viva Cristo Rey," long live Christ the King. The conflict ended in compromise, but religion remained a deeply contentious issue in public life. Religion in modern Mexico, 1940-present, religious demographics. Today, Catholicism. 77–80% of Mexicans identify as Catholic, though declining. Protestant evangelical Christianity, rapidly growing, at 11–13%, especially among indigenous and urban populations. Other religions, small Jewish, Muslim, Buddhist, and Baha'i communities. Secular, non-religious, rising steadily, 10–12%, particularly among younger generations and urban areas. 6. Socio-cultural influence. Today, despite Mexico's constitutional secularism, religion, particularly Catholicism, continues to shape nearly every aspect of Mexican society. Cultural life, festivals and traditions, events like Día de la Virgen de Guadalupe, Décembre 12, and Semana Santa, Holy Week, are major national celebrations. Syncretic practices. Indigenous beliefs persist in rituals, pilgrimages, and saints' cults, reflecting Mexico's blended spiritual heritage. Family and social values. Catholic teachings still influence norms around family, marriage, gender roles, and community life. Political influence. Moral and social debates. The Church is a vocal participant in debates over abortion, same-sex marriage, and education. Political engagement. While direct political involvement by clergy is restricted, Catholic and evangelical groups influence voter behavior and policy. Diplomatic ties. Mexico maintains strong relations with the Vatican, and papal visits remain major national events. Education and social services. Catholic institutions continue to run schools, hospitals, and charities, often filling gaps left by the state, especially in rural areas. The future of religion in Mexico. Modern Mexico reflects a complex religious landscape. Catholicism remains a cultural backbone, but its institutional power is weaker than in the past. Evangelical Protestantism is reshaping political and social dynamics, particularly in marginalized communities. Secularism and pluralism are rising as globalization, migration, and urbanization introduce new worldviews. Summary. Religion in Mexico has evolved from the deeply spiritual cosmologies of pre-Columbian civilizations to a Catholic-dominated colonial society through centuries of conflict and reform into today's pluralistic and increasingly secular nation. Yet, its influence remains profound, visible in art, language, traditions, public morality, and even political discourse. Religion continues to serve as both a source of unity and identity, and a field of contestation and change in modern Mexico.